Now, there's only one small problem with this. Ryan Sauter isn't a lawyer, and Sauter Law Group doesn't exist.
Listen, if you haven't seen me ripping other influencers to shreds, where have you been? So I have no idea who these people are, first off. Do you? I don't know who these people are. But then I'm not very good with names and influencers in general. Let me know if you know who they are. Somehow they managed to get into award shows and stuff. Maybe they're just really sneaky or something. Because I can't even find what they do, really. These are the Talabi twins, and apparently they're both serial scammers.
Story time about how I got scammed by influencers during Coachella Fest, and it's their makeup for free. So a while back, one of the Talabi sisters DM'd me on Instagram telling me how much she loved my work and that she wanted to collaborate.
The messages are just them going through times and confirming them. Nothing juicy.
She said she would post me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and she was attending like a press event magazine during Coachella. At that time, I was really excited because I'm a small immigrant business owner, and opportunities like that feel huge when you're trying to grow. She was extremely kind, sweet in her messages, and honestly, that's how she built my trust. She
Yeah.
originally asked me to do her makeup for the 3 days. I told her that I could only collaborate for one day because I'm a small business and I couldn't afford to work the 3 days for free. Even though if it was free, I still apologized for her to not being able to do the 3 days. And she was so nice about it. She said she understood that she still wanted to like book me.
So, oh wait, sorry. So are we here? Are we in this agreement that you're going to do their makeup for free for exposure in 2025 or 2026? Doing makeup for exposure doesn't really pay the bills anymore and doesn't really get you anything because so many people are doing it. Way back in the day, back in my day, perhaps, you know what I mean, when social media didn't exist. But okay, you're getting exposed to, like, it just doesn't help as
So on the
much.
day of the appointment, I arrive at 8 a.m., exactly at the scheduled time. And she didn't answer the door. I called her phone, I called her on Instagram, I knocked her hotel door, nothing. She didn't open the door until it was like 8:40.
What?
When she finally opened the door, it was Leah. She looked extremely hungover. She still had her makeup from last night, and she didn't even have her face washed.
Let me tell you something. As a makeup artist, ideally you want your client or your customer to have no makeup on when you get there, taking off mascara, removing yesterday's eyeliner, removing the makeup around their hairline that they still have on, where they try to take the makeup off but not fully, takes up so much time. You want the cleanest base you can when you start, so that is extra time on what she's already planned to do.
And then she asked me if I could just do her base and leave the eye makeup she already had from the night before.
Ew.
I told her no.
Yeah, good. No. One, because gross. Two, because if you're being paid in exposure, the eyes are going to be one of the main parts of this day. And she's only doing this one day, remember? So you're being your exposure should be the eyes. The base is going to show up a certain way. They might edit their pictures. They might have, it might look different in certain lighting. So what is really going to sell somebody's unique selling point for a lot of people, not all the time, some people do just want skin, is the eye makeup. So you're asking to keep on the main part and probably the funnest part to do as a makeup artist. That's
And that she needed
crazy.
to wash her face first
Yeah.
before I could start. So she went to wash her face and came back wearing pajamas. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm already here doing this for free, and she couldn't even be ready.
Mm.
I still stayed very professional and did her makeup. The plan was to do her sister Sarah first and then Leah. But when they opened the door, I did her first. But because everything started so late and suddenly she said, suddenly like Sarah said like she didn't have time to do her makeup anymore. So Leah asked me if I could do her cousin's makeup instead because she was also like an influencer and she said that she could tag me and do the same thing that Leah and Sarah were going to do for me. Um, so I already had another client that I need to get to, but they were being so kind and convincing that I felt bad saying no. So
And remember, they opened the door 40 minutes later than when she was meant to be there, right? Or was it 8:30 or 8? Whatever. They were late. So she's already technically running late. She's not. They are. But she is providing them a service while they are running late. So everything is late.
I did it. The whole collaboration was supposed to include like posts on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And do you know what I actually got? One single Instagram story. That's it. And my
No.
name was so small that you could barely see it. No TikTok post, no Instagram post, no YouTube post, nothing. And the sad part is that
What I would have organized is okay, you do a post, but then also I am going to post my own video of your makeup when it's done, you know, like in the chair, and then you need to repost that. That would be what I would say. Share it, add it to your stories, post it on YouTube Shorts, whatever.
The cousin also posted the photos with the makeup look, but didn't tag me. And I actually had to message her, asking her if she can please tag me, which honestly felt very embarrassing because that was the whole point of the collaboration. And the
Yeah.
craziest part is that, like, I don't remember if it was Leah or Sarah, I'll put the screenshot somewhere. They asked me to do their makeup for the second weekend of Coachella. But this time
No.
I told them that I wasn't going to be free, and suddenly they weren't interested anymore. Honestly, I do blame myself a little because I was a naive small business owner, and I believe people would keep their word. When you're an immigrant business owner, you work really hard and you trust that people mean what they say.
Let me tell you something. Don't trust. No, I can't say don't trust influencers because I am one and I believe I'm trustworthy. But one thing I would say as a makeup artist, right? Only work for free when you are gaining experience and knowledge, right? Perhaps as a makeup artist, you idolize and you want to, you know, assist them and work with them for free, even though people who assist do also get paid. So there's a one-off opportunity where you are going to learn something. And only do work for free in promotion if you have a contract. Make your own contract. You know what I mean? At least it's there. Sometimes a verbal contract is not enough. Or offer a discount. Be like, I don't get like to be paid in exposure because I find from past experience that isn't enough. However, I can do it for 50% less. At least then you're getting paid and at least then you get some exposure. Because like she just said in this video, what does a tiny little at of your name do for you? Nothing.
But that experience taught me a huge lesson. And if I ever collaborate with influencers again, there will be contracts and clear
Yes.
agreements because exposure
Yes.
doesn't pay the bills.
I,
And
yes.
the reason I'm finally speaking up is because I recently saw another small immigrant business having a similar experience with her. I would say even worse,
Ah,
because she ranked up like a bill, like a $500 bill, and she did the same thing to me, like a small Instagram story, like if our hard work means nothing. But like I said, at the end of the day, I take responsibility for falling for it, but it's definitely a lesson that will never happen to me.
so these influencers message her to do their makeup for Coachella. They don't even offer to pay in the first place. So like, if you do it for free, we will tag you. And our makeup artist here can only do it one day, but she agrees. She says, yes, this is fine. These influencers have a kind of following. And I'm in like the travel area for them, but perhaps I will get some exposure for it, maybe some followers, and maybe some work from it as well. She turns up on the day, the influencers aren't ready, they're hungover, they still have their makeup on. They ask her to do half a service. Just leave the eye makeup from yesterday. Are you crazy? Artist was right and said, no, let's start from scratch. Let's do everything. Nothing is really going to schedule. And then when they do post about it, they tag her this tiny, tiny little amount on a Instagram story. Not even a selfie on the main grid, nothing like that. Listen, this isn't uncommon. For some reason, influencers think it's just okay to take advantage of people like this. One of our favorite content creators, Daddy Snacks, he posted a video not long after this MUA talked about this situation, spoke about this situation because this business, Men and Beast, had DM'd him about their experience with these awful humans.
A few days ago, I posted about this influencer. So an influencer ripped off a family-owned small business for hundreds of dollars of food, and she thought she'd get away with it. So Leah here is an influencer
The same one of the twins.
who reached out to this Chinese restaurant in LA and asked if they would give her and her sister free food in exchange for content.
I just don't know where these people get the nerve. I would never think about walking into any place that serves food or gives any kind of service. If you're new here, this isn't my main channel. I'm a beauty content creator, right? I would never message anyone, any service, anything, even after they have said to me, please contact us if you want anything. I'm not going to. I'm going to book it and then arrive and pay full price. I will not do that. I just don't know where these people get the nerve. Yeah, I'll take a picture and you give me a free meal. I think the fuck not.
After confirming her reservation, Leah then proceeds to mention she's bringing a third person, to which the restaurant says is fine as long as they agree to post one story, one Instagram reel, and one TikTok.
Yeah.
Leah agrees, but then says she's actually showing up with a group of 6 people.
So she is turning up to this restaurant with a group of 6 people expecting all this food for free. Let's say minimum, right? It's going to be $50 a head. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. Minimum.
Her justification for this is that she's showing up with a bunch of big food creators and publications who are going to highlight the restaurant. You can see she lists them off here. Leah and her group then rack up a $450 tab. She
Shit.
posts a couple of stories and they leave. Now, a few weeks pass and nobody from that group has posted what Leah promised, so the restaurant does some digging after Leah ignores their messages. Remember those big food content creators that Leah said she was bringing? Well, the restaurant reached out to one of them directly and they have no idea about this dinner or Leah. Keep in
What?
mind, this is a small business started by an immigrant woman from
Wait. So the people she bought with them were not, in fact, food critics at all. She just got some random Instagram profiles and listed them and pretended that the people she was with. Probably because they're faceless because it's food, right? That's
China
crazy.
that is now out $500 and wasted their time and energy serving this group of absolute losers who thought they could get away with this because they have internet clout. Anyways, before I say something I regret, go support Men and Beasts in LA. And Leah, if you're watching this, go back and pay for your fucking food.
Absolutely. Insane. And listen, I'm sorry, but she has, was it like 1 million followers on Instagram? $500 is not even a quarter of what you are being paid for one post, let's be real. So you can go back and pay that fucking bill that you racked up. The worst point of this, well, okay, ignoring the fact that she scammed this business out of $500, is that she pretended, allegedly, that food critics were going to be with her. And when the restaurant reached out to these people that she gave them a list of, they were like, no, we've never heard of this before. That's scamming. That's a proper scam. Another video following this up.
A few days ago, I posted about this influencer who lied to a restaurant to get hundreds of dollars of free food. Well, Leah here saw the video and she didn't like it. She had her lawyer, Ryan Sauter of Sauter Law Group, send me an email demanding that I remove the video or face potential legal action for defamation.
When he just stated what had happened. That's not defamation, it's fact of what happened.
Now, there's only one small problem with this. Ryan Sauter isn't a lawyer, and Sauter Law Group doesn't exist. You see, what Leah and Ryan fail to realize is there's this thing called the California State Bar, which has a database of every licensed attorney in the state of California. And there's no record of a Ryan Sauter. Oh, but it
How
gets better.
embarrassing.
The
Oh,
business address that Ryan lists in his email signature is associated with a real office building, and that office building has a phone number. And by calling that phone number, I discovered that there's no record of a tenant named Sauter Law Group, and the suite number that Ryan listed is associated with a reception desk. Now, you know what is illegal in California? Impersonating an attorney, and rest assured that I am
no.
reporting Ryan to the
Do
proper
it.
authorities.
Do
And
it.
finally, to Leah, who I know will watch this, you could have just taken some accountability and we
Yeah.
all could have moved on.
Yeah.
But instead, you and your friend tried to bully somebody but happened to run into the wrong person at the wrong time. Anyways, I would start looking for a real lawyer real soon, buddy.
Listen, Leah, or any of these twins, you can just stop being fucking stupid. That would really help. Stop feeling entitled to anything because you are an influencer. Stop thinking that you can treat people like shit because you are an influencer. You just have people following you. That's it. That's all. Doesn't make you special. There's 1 million people with 1 million followers. Chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? Pay your fucking bills, pissing off small businesses, stop taking advantage of them, and be a normal fucking human. Anyway, love a fake lawyer. Mr. John Law from the Law Group in Law City. Why would you not think, oh, I'm going to put a name and an address and, you know, somebody who maybe has lawyers or, you know, has basic common sense might look this up. Take from this video, if you are a business, if you are relying on influencer marketing in any form, Get a contract. Does that influencer have a manager? Speak to the manager. Is the manager real? Are they a registered business? Please do your research or you end out losing on money. And the fact is, influencers like this twin person, the evil twin, doesn't care. They do not care. Jesus. Let me know your opinions down below. As always, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos like this. Go and follow Daddy Snacks on TikTok. If you like these kind of videos, you probably already do. Yes, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.